Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I wanted to remind you about our upcoming webinar this Thursday, August 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can register by clicking on the link in our channel.
If you're thinking about retiring soon and don't know where to begin, well, this video will be perfect for you. In today's episode of Ask Team FG, Carlo and I are going to be taking a look at what should people start focusing and prioritizing in order to get to that next stage where you can start thinking about retirement. And we've seen it pretty frequently with our clients, just in terms of the emotional side of things, or what should people be considering and thinking about. So Carlo, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, thanks, John. If I had a dime for every time that a client came in and said, my retirement plan is just putting money in the stock market and hoping for the best, I wouldn't have to be in this role. I'd be retired already, because that happens so often. And that's simply not the case. Throwing darts at a dartboard to figure out what the best investment is for your retirement plan is just not the place to start.
Yep.
In order to be able to retire on time, you need to figure out, what does retirement look like? What will you want to be doing in retirement? How much will you need to spend? Will you be living in Canada or abroad? There are many questions that need to be answered when you think about retirement that will determine how you get to this retirement goal.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen from a lot of people is it's a big change, first of all, and sometimes big changes are scary enough to the point where you don't want to think about it, and you don't want to have to start thinking about or setting out these goals for yourself. But like you mentioned, that's priority number one. In our first meeting, when we sit with a client, it's entirely a getting to know you. It should be laying out the goals that you have, because essentially we're just working for you and ensuring that you are able to achieve those goals that you have set out for yourself. So that's number one. Figure out, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? And really, how could someone like Carlo or myself be able to assist you to get you there?
So let's say you've come into our office. You determine that you want to retire at age 60. And you've talked it over with your spouse. You want to travel annually. You want to spend about $20,000 a year in travel. In order to live your desired lifestyle, it's going to cost you $60,000 a year or $5,000 a month. Okay, that's a starting point.
Yeah.
Now, us as financial planners have a place to start to determine, well, this is where you are today. How are we going to get you to that point where you can spend $5,000 a month? You don't have to worry about not being able to travel at $20,000 a year. That is what the financial plan is for. We determine where you want to be. We know what the targets are. Now we have to determine where you stand, what your investment value is now. How much are you earning? How much are you putting away for investing or spending, and put you on a plan to achieve that goal of $60,000 a year or $20,000 a year in vacation.
Yeah, and you mentioned a really good word as targets, and these targets are always moving, constantly changing, and that's one of those things where even your goals per se may be changing. Maybe you wanted to work till 70, but your work provides you this very lucrative severance package, and maybe you figured, I don't need to work anymore. There's always going to be changing and changing goals, but as well, just in terms of what you want to do in retirement, it's always going to be changing. And that's why the plan is entirely liquid and entirely fluid. We say the plan's only good for that really 15 minutes after the meeting, and then as soon as you go home, things can change, right? So that's why within our office, we try to look at that within every 6, 12, 18 months, whenever any sort of major change, I guess, has happened in your personal day-to-day situation. That's when we take a look at the plan and reallocate to that new target.
Yeah, that's really the important piece, is reviewing that plan. The plan can be changed. The plan is flexible, but at least there's a plan in place because we know where the destination is. Now, I'm going to bring it back to the portfolio side.
Yeah.
Again, clients coming in and saying, yes, I want to get the highest rate of return for the lowest amount of risk. Well, I think we all know that that's just not possible. So having that plan in place helps us direct how the portfolio is going to be managed and what kind of portfolio you have. So I'll bring it back to the plan. We want to spend $5,000 a month or $60,000 a year, and we want to have $20,000 a year for vacation. That's simple math. $80,000 a year in after-tax expenses. Okay, so if I have $1 million portfolio now, what does it have to be 20 years down the road in order for us to be able to spend that way? Okay, let's say it's $4 million. All right, now the portfolio has to earn 6-7% each year for that 20 years. Now that we have that in place, we know what the targets are, we create the portfolio around those parameters.
Absolutely. And, just like you said, not everyone needs to be in a very aggressive portfolio. Not everyone needs to be in a very conservative portfolio. It's entirely tailored to you. And that's essentially what we do here. It's, if you want to use the analogy of a doctor, we got to diagnose the situation before we can sort of prescribe some sort of solution. And that's exactly what working with us is. I mean, the start is we need to get to know you as best we can and figure out the tailored solution for you. And where people tend to run into some issues, you see things on the media that says I should be in a 60-40 portfolio, or I should be all equity, or I should hold NVIDIA. Or, their job is to sell clicks and to get you interested and to look into that article because that's how they're getting paid. At the end of the day, we get paid based on your success in terms of your retirement, right? So that's how things are a little bit different there.
John, I think we can summarize what you should be doing for a successful retirement in 3 words.
Yep.
Goal.
Yep.
Plan.
Absolutely.
Then the portfolio. Let us know in the comments section if you've started with a retirement plan or you need a retirement plan. Again, at the McClelland Financial Group, we are financial planners. Our role is to find out your goals, to put that plan in place and then ensure that you have the appropriate portfolio. That's our video for today. Again, if you do like our content, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have many videos that are coming about retirement, so click on any of the videos that pertain to you. Until next time, I'm Carlo Cancino.
I'm John Iaconetti.
And this has been Ask TMFG.